Hi, this is Dr. Ben Finio, and in this video I'm going to address a question I've had come up in person and in YouTube comments about what actually gets recorded when you record a meeting in Zoom. So this is particularly useful if you are doing online lectures and you want to make sure your students see what you think they're going to see when they watch your lecture, since, as you may know, Zoom has a bunch of very customizable view controls, and during the meeting, what you see will not always match exactly what your students see. So my daughter got mad that I kept stealing her toys to make these videos, so we are just joined by two smiley faces today, and if you're watching this in 2020, you may notice that I have implemented my own quarantine buzz cut, which I'm imagining some of you out there may have done as well. So what I'm going to do for the remainder of this video is show side by side a recording of what I see in Zoom using third-party screen capture software and a recording of the actual Zoom meeting that gets recorded by Zoom and saved locally. So if you are watching this on your phone, it might be a little too small. If you're watching this on a desktop monitor, you might want to go full screen so you can see both side by side. To get that started, I'm going to go down to the record button on my bottom toolbar here and select record on this computer. It starts recording automatically. You'll notice it didn't prompt me for a location to save the file. It won't do that until you end the meeting. So now let's just cycle through all the different view options and compare and contrast what I see in Zoom versus what your students will see in the recording. Before we do that, one quick note, you might notice, hey, those videos are flipped. So in Zoom, in your video settings, there is a mirror video option. So this makes you feel like you are looking into a mirror when you are looking at your own Zoom meeting. So I record my right hand, but in what I see in the Zoom meeting, it looks like it's that mirror image's left hand. But you will notice that it then unmirrors the video in the recording. So in the recording, it does look like this is actually my right hand. So just wanted to clarify that in case it's confusing. Since that is the default setting, I'm going to leave it like that for this recording, even though it looks a little weird in this side-by-side view. So first, you will notice I am in speaker view here, so I have one large speaker window. The main difference between Zoom and the recording is that in Zoom, I also have this strip of thumbnails across the top for the other participants. You will notice that does not get recorded, so the recording only has the speaker window. You will also have to be careful if you have students with their microphones unmuted. They may show up as the active speaker when they talk, meaning they will pop up in this main window that gets recorded. So if you want to avoid that, you can right-click on your own video and select Spotlight Video. So I already have my video spotlighted, but for example, I could cancel that, and you see there it jumped to one of the other participants. If maybe you had a student giving a presentation and you do want them to get recorded, you can click on them and select Spotlight Video, and it will spotlight that student's video. There is a difference between Spotlight Video and Pin Video. So Pin Video just pins the video for you, which in this case, since you're the one doing the recording, would be okay. But Spotlight Video will also highlight that video for all of the other students who are watching. If you switch to Gallery View, that will give you an array of all the thumbnails. You will see all of these do get recorded, minus some of the Zoom interface controls. So when they're recording, I don't have the toolbar at the bottom. If I do something like open the Manage Participants or Chat window in Zoom, you will see that I see these in my Zoom meeting, but they do not get recorded. If you do type something in the chat, then Zoom will save a separate text file of the chat log. So even though this doesn't show up in the video, you can still access the chat later. Finally, let's take a look at screen sharing, since that's something you may be doing if you're writing on a tablet or using a PowerPoint. So I am going to have my PowerPoint file ready here, and in Zoom, I'm going to select Share Screen. I'm going to share my entire monitor as opposed to just the PowerPoint file. So here I have my PowerPoint. I haven't gone into presentation mode yet. I'm going to do that. And what you have to be careful about here is this little window with the video thumbnails. Two things. One, it will be docked in the upper right, so even though I am dragging this around my screen on my computer, in the video that gets recorded, this does not move around. It gets docked in the upper right part of your screen, so you will have to be careful if you have content in your PowerPoint that could get obscured in this upper right corner. You can, however, make this smaller, so again, if I want to pin my own video, that will shrink it, so I'm only showing one video here instead of mine plus all the student thumbnails. You can also minimize this completely, so I have the little minimize button here. And if I click that, it will largely disappear in the recording. So again, be careful. For example, if you had a PowerPoint where you had a bunch of stuff written in the upper right and you dragged this window over to the left thinking you had gotten it out of the way, it will still cover up your writing in the recording. So that is important to keep in mind. So hopefully that was a helpful walkthrough of all the different options you may find when recording for a lecture. If you have a question, leave a comment on YouTube and I will try to get back to you. Thanks.